Hi guys, Selene here. It is so good to see you. I am coming to you a little bit early because I have to jet. My mom has, she needs another test and I just found out. So I will be leaving here after my live video on the fly and going to see her. I will say that having shorter hours to work, I have about 100,000 things I want to tell you about, including and not limited to the starter kit deal, which is just amazing. If you have a decent wish list of, $80 or more, you can get $125 worth of product for just $99. And in addition, Stampin' Up! Is doing this special where you can pick. So first of all, the $125, a lot of direct sales companies, you don't get to pick your starter kit. This is your choice of $125 in product for $99 and free shipping. So shipping would normally be 11%. So that's why I say an 80. If you have an $80 wish list, wow, you can get a lot more for just shorter money. Well, in addition to that, you can pick an additional $30 free, or you can pick a $91 prize pack. Well, I'm going to call it a prize pack. It is called Handmade Designs, and it's free with a starter kit order. And then you would pick from the four different color families which two marker sets you want. So it would be an additional value of $91 free. So I haven't really talked much about it, mainly because I haven't had a lot of time with you. Been taking care of my mom. She had a pretty good medical thing happen on December 6th, and it's just ongoing. So I'll be in and out, but I am not going anywhere. I'm here to support and to love. And if I can't be here, at the exact same time, I'll be here anyway, and I'll make sure that that I come see you. So that being said, Stampin' Write markers. Can I just tell you, they redid them, and I'm thrilled about it. They used to have this little tiny point to them that made them almost seem like they were dried out before, and they switched. So now they have a felt tip on both sides. Hang on. So this one, let me see if you can see it. I'll use my face. It has a felt tip. So now when I write with them, total game changer. It used to be this little tiny point. And the whole idea of using these markers is that you can write in your cards to match your project. Now, this is the brush tip, and this is the tip that we use to ink up our stamps. And there's loads and loads and loads of techniques that you can use for marker techniques. So I thought, on the fly, I would show you just a couple, but if you're on my email list, tomorrow, hopefully, what's tomorrow? Nope, Friday. Oh, wow. Today's only Tuesday, my goodness. So on Friday, I'm going to send you a sheet with 12 ways to use your Stampin' Write markers. So that's scheduled for Friday. It is coming out though. My goodness. What day is it anyway? It's like the holidays never ended when you're taking care of, another family member or whatever. But I'm going to flip the camera. We'll jump in, and I want to show you some things with both this handmade design stamp set and what you can do with your markers, okay? Don't mind me, I'm chilly. I got all the sweatshirts on today. 2 of them. Okay. So first I'm going to get you hooked up and in the camera, and then I will I want to show you a card I made with this, and I'll talk about some of it. And I'm going to move the camera so you can see. I'll move the whole table. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to catch us on the replay so that I am sure that we're in the right place. Oh, goodness gracious. So, yeah, so you pick $125 of anything you want. And then you can pick another $30, or you can get this handmade design stamp set, which is absolutely beautiful. And I've been creating with it a little bit. Perfect. getting rid of that audio so I don't feedback. All right, so this is a red rubber set, and you'll notice I didn't put my stickers on, and that's okay, I never do. But what I want to do is show you a couple of techniques. So the first one I want to show you is something called omitting. So right here, this stamp set has a handmade by in it, and I'll be able to sign my name to the back of the card. But I don't want all the extra flowers, even though it does match my designer paper, right? So if I'm using this with the coordinating celebration paper, it all matches. But I'm just going to ink up the parts that I want. So this is called omitting. So I'm going to omit or not ink up the flowers. I do want that line. Whoop, I'm still hearing myself on playback. There we go. So if you are in a different part of the country, tell me what the weather is like there. We're expecting another snowstorm on Thursday here, so I'm gonna go put my mom's car down underneath so that she doesn't have to clear it off after the storm, and take her to a doctor's appointment. Poor kid, story of her life. She's got enough sticks and pokes for the rest of her life, I think, but she's a trooper. She's still doing good. All right, so I've inked this up really well, and then I'm gonna re-moisten the ink because I'm talking by using the good old-fashioned breath method. And so I made this card, and if I want to sign this, I can sign it with the other side of my marker. Okay, so that is the new brush tip of these markers, which is pretty cool. And I didn't have to get any of those other images because first of all, the stamp is nice and clean, and I used the brush tip to ink up the stamp. Now, that being said, for all of our markers, both for the Stampin' Write markers and for our blends, they have a thin line, and the thin line is the side you write with, and the thick line is the side that you ink up your stamps with. So I'm going to put that to the side for a minute, and we'll have another go here. I'm going to grab this one next and show you this beautiful flower. And I also want to grab, I did shaded spruce in this one, but I think I'm just going to grab Mossy Meadow. So I'm sticking with the Neutrals collection here. If you were to purchase the starter kit, you could pick from 2 of the collections. And so the Brights, the Regals, the Subtles, or the Neutrals. So I'm just picking both from the Neutrals today to keep it, consistent. All right, so I'm going to open the brush tip, and then I hold my marker at an angle. So I'm not going to go this way, or I'll be breaking down that point. I want to keep the point nice and pointy. So I kind of go on an angle, and I ink up like this. And I just swipe across my image until it's all even. And then I'll have another go right here and ink up again. So that is Blackberry Bliss. And then this is Mossy Meadow. And for this one, I'm going to go right up to where the leaf would end, pull it down. And again, I'm swiping across, just kind of like, I'm using the flat side, not the pointy side of my marker. And I'm going to go over it a couple of times. But again, it's a quick swipe. You don't have to take a long time on this. Okay, so then I'll give it a huff. That remoistens the ink. And I'll stamp that on my white paper. So pretty. Okay, so what's my favorite thing in the world? For those of you that know me, see if you can guess what I'm gonna do next. Let's see. Anybody? Anybody gonna guess? How about a good Wink of Stella? I'm just gonna tap and see if I can get that to focus nice. Seemed to help a little bit. Okay. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab another block. Oh, this one's got some ink on it already. And I'm gonna color a little bit of ink on my block. And I can use an aqua painter to pick it up, or I can use Wink of Stella, of course. I put this stuff on everything. Yep, Vicky knows me. Oh, I could really use my readers though. All right, so that's okay. It's gonna be ultra free here because I got no readers. And then I'm gonna go through the ink that's already there. So I got some on from the block to add to the middle. But now the ink that's already there that I stamped is sitting there and waiting. So these painters are water-based ink. And what that means is any water-based medium like Wink of Stella, you can just go in and move them. So you could use a blender pen if you want and blend it, but why would you use a blender pen when you could add Wink and get some sparkle? So it's like the next step up. I skipped over the middle level. Just to get it all sparkly and pretty. Okay, so I'll just go. So you might notice I am choosing to add from the outside and go in. So that's another tip for you. I don't feel like I need to color the whole thing in. I am just moving the color from the line where the artist made the lines and pulling it in to add a little bit more depth. If I were to color across it, I'd color it in more, but it would be more of a solid color, and you might see streaks if I go that way. If I use the lines that the artist gave me and just move the color that's there a little bit, it adds crazy awesome depth without having to do anything more. And this literally took me, what, 2 minutes? Not even. Okay, so that is completely done, and I lied, I missed a spot. So I just like want to blend the lines that are there, and then you get extra brownie points if you can leave blank space. I'm getting it like a little fuzzy, so I hope that you're seeing this. Okay, so then I'm gonna go into my Mossy Meadow and do some of the same, but I'm gonna brush over it and try and avoid the part in the middle where there's a white vein. So that on the stamp is an empty space that doesn't get any ink. So I'll just use this to fill in that pretty vine that came out all kinds of different colors of that green because we used a marker to ink up and not an ink pad. All right, so there's that. And I'm gonna add a little bit more green by just pulling that stem down. So the Wink of Stella will brighten up any of those colors for you and get them ready to roll. Okay, so if we were making this card, the Have the Best Day again, we would just add this to a block, and I like to put them on so that it's straight and then line the block up with the paper. You guys know that about me. I'll go with the purple again. I was gonna switch it up and do the green, but it's fine. You could even do the have the and put best in a different color. Or again, omit any of the words that you don't want. So we got omitting, huff stamping, and coloring with Wink of Stella so far. Isn't that pretty? I got a little heavy-handed there on my have, but it's fine. And if anything doesn't come out right when you're stamping, because my words look a little, I don't know, soft, I can take the Wink of Stella and add a little bit just to blend that color, and it'll pop the colors up a little bit just by going through the fat part of the letter. So I don't want to try and hit the thin part of the letter because I'll probably go outside the frame of the letter if I do that, but if I want to blend the color on the inside, I can just go through it with my wink. All right, so then there's that. And I added a couple of products. This is the Wave Embossing folder. And then this ribbon and this designer paper are both free with $60 orders during Celebration. Whole pack of paper or 10 yards of ribbon. I mean, they really do a good job in giving us some options for freebies, but that's how it would come together when it's all done. Okay, so how about if we talk about other techniques? So this is a photopolymer stamp, and I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes it's really tricky to get the color to sit when you're inking up a photopolymer stamp, right? So in that case, and my friend Joanne Cardone made this up. She's been stamping with me. She's been on my team almost since the beginning. And Joanne likes to ink up the stamp. Joanne and Gina, they teach Fun Folds classes at my retreats. I love that other people teach classes at retreat because number one, then it's not all on me. And number two, you get to learn different styles, right? So I'm going to ink up once, pretend I didn't ink up again. And then at the end, I'm going to go right up that body so that I don't get any of those weird streaks that I was just seeing. And then we'll give it a huff and stamp this guy on just basic white. Okay. So I'm going to go through that ink again and blend some of the butterfly body, but I don't want to go too crazy. So I'm going to just take enough of the ink and blend it in to color this body without, like, again, making it a solid color. It does this beautiful watercolor effect without you having to mess with it. And it really makes this almost look like stained glass. So I did the bottoms. Now I'm going back and doing the top. Sorry if you can hear the beeping outside. There's apparently a truck outside. Always when you're live. Although right before I went live, the UPS man brought something and rang the doorbell. So I waited for him to ring the doorbell before I went live, which is funny. Like always, he shows up right when the go live. Should be able to like disable the doorbell when I'm live. What do you think? It'd be a good thing to add to the doorbell company suggestion box. All right, so I blended this to make a stained glass type effect. Okay, and now you can use it to make a line, or you can use it to create like a flight path. So if this were a bumblebee and I wanted it coming out of a hive, we could have it connect two items, or we can just add the lines. And I'm going to make a number 6 and then keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's better if it has a little bit of a swing to it. So that's a third technique for using these markers with this particular stamp set. So we did a stained glass technique, and then we did stitching. Super cool. All right, let's move on. How about this stamp? So anybody else think that this looks like, what kind of plant do you think that is? Because I have no clue. It's funny. So when you're inking up a stamp like this, it's awesome to be able to put two colors on the stamp. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong side. That's the side you write with. I'm gonna just ink this up so that the green is green. Funny story about my grandmother. I remember my grandmother Anne, I would bring her flowers. And have you ever seen Morticia Addams from the Addams Family, how she would like cut the roses off and keep the greenery? That was my grandmother. My grandmother is from Ireland. My mom is from Ireland. And my grandmother would get flowers in and cut the flowers off and just keep the green leaves. I know it's a funny story, but it's true. Hey Tara, thanks for stopping in today to hang out with me. All right, so now I've done 2 different colors on this stamp, but like Joanne taught me, I'm gonna go back in and do one more because it looks real light to me, so I just want it to kind of brighten it up a little. And it does dry while you're talking, so, and again, I'm swiping the side. I'm not using the tip. I don't want to break those tips down. And then I'm gonna give it a huff. I know the huff is off camera, but you're just gonna have to imagine me re-moistening the stamp like I'm cleaning my eyeglasses. So pretty. And again, I could use a blender pen, but that seems like a waste because I've got Wink of Stella. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go through the outside of this and drag it in. And we've got another way to use it. Well, I guess I did 2 different colors on the first stamp anyway. Okay. So I really like the lines in this flower pot, and I don't want to go too crazy blending it because I want to keep the integrity of the image, but I still want to put some sparkle on there. I'm going to grab a ruler really quick. So if I wanted to make my own designer paper to back this up, I would need a ruler. Okay, so here we go. This would probably be easier if I had my glass mat out, but it's all the way over on the other side of the room. So I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm going to add a blue line. And I'm gonna use the distance of the ruler to just make a random spacing, but it's not so random because it's the thickness of my ruler. So now when I move down and I make another line, they'll all be at the same place. Okay, so there's the skinny line. And let's make a heavier line. We'll use this part, the brush tip. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just going to use the thickness of the ruler. And if you have different rulers, I have like little 6-inch ones too. That would make a difference in how far it would be, right? Okay, so I use the front side. Here, I'll use the back side. And then we'll just go down the line. Adding a thick line. And I'd be off the paper there. So then we'll come in beside it. And we'll make our own plaid. This would be great for a guy card because it's masculine colors. Doesn't have to be perfect, which is my kind of technique. Yay. So I did thick and thin, and then I'll come back and do this side thick again. It is so fun and addicting. And it's easy. You don't need a lot of supplies. You just need the markers and a ruler. And if you've ever wondered how they make all those fancy designer papers, this is one of those tricks. Okay, so we have a background there. And I could make another layer in here. I think I want to see more blue though on the edge, so I'll go this way. Yeah. Needs a sentiment. So how about if we do 2 different colors again? We'll do So Very Much in green, and we'll do Thank You in blue. So this gives you a lot of control over what colors you have on your stamp and when. You guys have any questions so far? Just curious. Oh, thanks, Jill. Good to see you, my friend. And you're not late. I was early. I have to go to another appointment. And I just didn't want to skip my Facebook Live because you guys are too important. All right. So thank you very much. I've got some background lines ready to go. I kind of want to see another blue on this side. I know I said it before, but I'm going for it. So again, I know that I did like, the only rule is that you make the rules. So if you don't like how it looks, you can add some more. And don't be afraid, just go for it. In fact, let's add another blue line. Different thicknesses, different depths. Just go, you can keep adding color until you love it. Now, the trick is knowing when to stop, because, you know, you can definitely go too far and then end up not liking it, but I think that's pretty fabulous. So what do you think? And of course it needs another layer. I'll put a Night of Navy layer in between. But we effectively used every stamp in that set between the Have the Best Day, and we did a second one, and then the Handmade By, in which we did omitting, and we omitted the flowers, although even though they match the card, such a pretty combination. We did accent lines, and you can have them be odd, or you can have them be every 1/4 inch. You can measure them off and do them every inch. We didn't do flecking, but we'll do that another day. You can just color an image in. You can use the markers to connect an image or to give it a flight path. You can use them to make a border. Ready? So let's make a border. Let's go squiggles. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be sort of done. So people say I could never do that, and you know what? The trick is just to do it. Don't worry about a thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Or if you didn't want to do that kind of border, you could keep your hand on it. Now that's all. Okay, let's use a white paper so you can see better. You could keep your hand on it and make like a solid squiggle. And just however your hand is. Whoop. Although I don't want to mess with that flight path, it's too cute. So I mean, there's loads of ways that you can use these. Of course, and we direct colored to the stamp and skipped some pieces. So there's all kinds of ideas you have with markers. And Jill, you're asking about my mom. She's doing good. I'm going to be with her right now. I have to go take care of her car and put it underneath before it snows again, and take her to an unexpected appointment. So yeah, that's just a few different ways to use markers. Oh, there's so many. Like you can actually color a stamp with the marker and spritz it with either rubbing alcohol or water and put it on watercolor paper to make like a square background and then stamp something on top. There's so many different ways that you can use them. So as you guys probably know, because I already told you, unless you're catching this late, you can get 2 packages of the Stampin' Write markers in the colors that you choose, plus the Handmade Design Stamp Set, which is a $91 value, when you purchase the starter kit. And then you pick another $125 in your choice. So maybe you pick the other 2 colors, the other 2 marker packs, and get a full set. I would recommend watercolor paper, of course, Wink Stella, aqua painters, those types of things for doing techniques with markers. And then once you get your kit, You get 20% off all your purchases, and if you make your minimums, you stay on. If you get to a certain level, you make 25% off your purchases, and so on and so on. And I've had a lot of people do that, and as a result, yes, thank you, Jill, I earned the Alaskan incentive trip today. It was big. You know, it's really funny. I have been doing all the work, you know, so I still am working and everything, but my team has been doing great. And today I earned the incentive trip when a team member got her paper pumpkin subscription. So an $18 purchase pushed her over for being qualified. That gave me a bonus and the incentive trip, because I got 1,500 incentive trip points when she just got her discount and was loving it. And it was all to do with an $18 paper pumpkin subscription. So pretty kind of cool, huh? How everything adds up and every person makes a difference. That's what I was going back to. There's so many things I want to tell you. My team and I swap every single month. So we send each other cards in the mail. We just had our team meeting on Sunday and we had 2 guest presenters teaching us new techniques. We celebrated each other. Vicky, she's here. We celebrated her promotion to Bronze Elite, so she got her extra 5% pay bump. So congratulations, Vicky. I love celebrating my friends. I love that they get their discount. I love that we get to craft together. And when I bought a kit 19 years ago, there's no way, if you told me that I would do this for a job, that I would believe you. It is just something that I really love, and thank God, so does other people, and we get to do it together, and I appreciate your love and your support and all of that. So yeah, so that's a big thank you, and it's quite a ride. I'm still happy and with the right company. Also, while I'm at it, I want to give a shout out to Sarah Douglas. She is the CEO of our company currently. She took over for her mom, Shelley Gardner. When Close to My Heart went out of business, and she could have just bought their products and had us, you know, kind of help them get rid of some of their stock. No, she took on all of the demonstrators from Close to My Heart. She brought scrapbooking back. I'm so excited about that. I got 2 scrapbooking workshops over in the corner so that when I have a minute, I can put them together. But I think Sarah Douglas is a queen, and I think that she really helped that whole community. And the fact is we're all paper crafters, and we're all just one big community anyway. So shout out to her for putting people first. She could have, you know, taken on the product and not taken on the people, and putting people first is a company that I want to be a part of. So thank you, Sarah. Anyway, I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I have to jet to my mom's house and go pick her up and take her to her appointment, and that's okay. And I'll be back tomorrow in the studio. I'm going to be doing prep for club and for the upcoming retreat. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully very soon.